1, 2. Hello, all 10 of us, can we get closer? And just occupy the seats close. Eh? No, man. Can we catch some seats close by so we can get going? The shirt, it's over there. There's a small there. You can. Where's Andy? So with the shirt. Okay. Are we all comfortable? Where's the drinks? Where's the Hawaii drinks that we ordered? No, but we're all here now. Are we supposed to go out and get them and come back? Yeah. Hey? Ooh, that hay. Okay, are we guys good? All right. Thank you very much for being here. And thanks to those people who are online. I'm not sure if they can hear us at the moment. There are people on Teams. Do you have some people there? Can they see us from the stadium? I'm looking at the tech people. They know better. Okay. While we were... Oh, did you take your top off? Okay. Yeah. All right. I see some legends in here. I see Meli. Welcome, Meli. Meli Kaya France, our top runner, best we've got in Nelson Mandela Bay. But for those who don't know me, my name is Luvuyo. I work for the Mandela Bay Development Agency. I used to be an athlete. I have decided to switch from triathlon to boxing. Those who don't know. So the heavyweight division is open. Yeah, I'm gunning. I'm just putting my hand up. If there are any promoters out there looking for a heavyweight boxer, I'm available. All right. I work for the Mandela Bay Development Agency. I want to greet everyone who is online. I see myself online. I see Vuyo. I see Mr. McFarlane. I see Yulali Khos, our podium finisher at the Ironman World Championships. Am I correct? Yeah? I see Yvette. I see Nasha, our female pro athlete who's done so well for us and who proudly races across the world with the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium logo emboldened. We also have a few more guests, and we're quite happy to see a whole lot of people who are online who will be chatting to us, chatting to Alec and Michelle. But my job is easy today. Some of you have never been, in fact, all of you have never been to this facility, except us who work here. The history behind this, or the vision behind this, this museum, this sports museum, we're creating a place in Nelson Mandela Bay to honor and celebrate achievements from the Bay, people of the Bay, and people who come to the Bay to tell their stories here and really share it with the world. So it's a fairly new initiative. We started working at this during COVID-19 when we needed to keep people busy. And they kept themselves busy creating a sports museum. We've been blessed with so many exhibits that people have contributed and loaned them to us during the World Cup and many others. So slowly but slowly, the museum is gaining visitation. So I'm going to ask everyone who is here on site to please sign our visitors guest book to say you were here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium Sports Museum. It's to the right on my side. Without wasting time, as I said, this facility is run by the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium, an entity that is within the Mandela Bay Development Agency. That's where I work. There's stadium staff here, and I see the acting stadium manager. She just walked in. Women are powerful at the MBDA. They run the show. Zikona Prince, she's going to do something for us towards the end. the KONA Prince, yes, she's the acting stadium manager here at the MBDA. We also got a message from the MMC of Sports, who unfortunately couldn't join us this evening. MMC Basikamana, who said he would have loved to be here himself. We got a message from Charmaine Williams, the Director of Sport as well, who's sending greetings to all of you. And I've got a message to say, can you let Luvuyo know that the sound on Teams is terrible? We can't hear anything. The message is loud and clear. The tech guys are looking at it. I apologize for that. So I think whilst the tech people are fixing the tech stuff, I think we'll keep going in here. And so, now that I'm done, the main guest here is to my right, Michelle Enslin. Michelle Enslin is a legendary Ironman athlete. I've grown to respect her. She will drop you on the bike anywhere around the city. Yeah, you will eat dust, but she's just generally the most beautiful person you'll ever meet. Michelle has many crowns. I won't even start to mention them, but the biggest one being the KONA World Champion age group, and she's won Nelson Mandela Bay a couple of times. Let's give her a hand. Michelle Enslin to my right. And to my left, they used to call him the Eye on the Sky. And first Ironman story I ever read, because I was just getting into the sport around 2014. I still remember the article, Alec. I think I've told you this many times. You were swimming somewhere in KONA and you lost your wedding ring because you were too thin, you had lost weight, and then you were on the bike and you had a mechanical and you had to go around borrowing a spare wheel from people in KONA to ride back. I can't remember the story, but it goes along those lines. Alec is a legend. He's the Ironman 70.3 world champion, and he's won many, many, many events, running, and so many. I don't know how many comrades he's run, like, I can't count. Top 20, there you go. So let's give Alec Riddle a round of applause. Welcome, Alec. And welcome to everyone who's here. I won't mention everybody, you guys, we will do that. But the purpose of this event is really to do that, to just honor, celebrate all our locals, all our Safas who went to Safa at KONA Ironman and 70.3 World Champs. It was past weekend. Nasha will be chatting to us about that. Peter Katangi will be chatting to us about that. And then over to our guest, Michelle and Alec. Over to you. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Luvuyo. Can everybody hear me? Are we live on Teams? Are we fine with that? Great. So Michelle, welcome. Shall we set the stage a little bit? Let's touch a little bit about KONA. We've both had the privilege of being there. Some of the athletes here have just returned from that place. Very excited, I'm sure. But tell me about your greatest memory of KONA. Perhaps arriving on the first time. What was it like?
Thanks, Alec. Hi, everyone. Firstly, when you mention the word KONA, I get tearful. When you've been there, it grabs your heart and it never lets you go. So once you've been, you'll always have unfinished business and you'll want to go again and again. The energy, the people, the emotions, and the just plain difficulty is insane. So my first KONA, Alec Riddle was my run coach. Okay, so this little chick from Port Elizabeth heads off to Hawaii. I didn't even know where Hawaii was when I won my first Ironman. They said to me, "Are you going to KONA?" I said, "No, I'm going to Austria." I didn't know what KONA was. And then I started learning about KONA, and it took me 8 qualifications, 8 payments, and 8 backouts because I was too scared to go. And eventually my husband duct taped me to the aeroplane, and off I went to Hawaii. I was crying so much in Johannesburg that someone asked me if I was immigrating, and I said, "No, I'm going to Hawaii." I was absolutely petrified. But when I arrived and I climbed off that plane, that heat hit me, Alec. Like I thought I'd walked into I first thought I was somewhere in Africa because there's no airport building. It's like outside. I thought I've missed the brief. But I walked out and I stepped into Hawaii, into KONA, and as you guys know, I fell in love. And the love story's carried on for many years.
Yeah, you've continued. I went and I broke up with the place and came back and went into retirement. But we've got one or two people here who've just returned from KONA. Let's get their experience. Jabu, I don't know if you would like to just come and join us. We've got Jabu here. He's a fantastic Ironman athlete. I just want to give you a little bit of a brief on Jabu, because I think you probably started triathlon around about 2002-03. I started, my stepson was 19, he passed away in 2004, and I decided I would do the half Ironman. And our paths crossed a couple of times in a couple of races. We had a few side bets here and there, and I went off chasing my dreams, and Jabu was taking a while to get his dream machine going. And I've stopped for 10 years, and 10 years later, you got to KONA. It's absolutely amazing. How did it feel?
It's very difficult to describe the feeling, but of course, very exciting. It's like someone just opened the door for you. This is invited you inside. Come in, it's very magical. It took me 17 years of trying, trying to get to KONA since 2005. I mean, it's a long, long time. I was at some stage thinking maybe it's never going to happen. But very excited when it did eventually happen. Very happy.
Before I hand over to Michelle to ask you a question or two, I do want to also just say to all those people who may be listening that I think Jabu's lesson or mission or message is one of perseverance. Not everybody can have what they call sometimes when, like Michelle won a world championship, overnight success, but it took 10 or 15 years. But very often, we keep getting that door shut in our face. And you tried, I don't know how many times, you persevered. You're probably the most consistent, probably with Paddy Clutie, probably the most consistent athlete in this city. And so I want you just to perhaps tell everybody and a message to those like yourself who come from an environment where swimming was not natural. There are loads of people in the township who hear and dream and aspire to be an Ironman, and they think it's impossible because, first of all, the swim is a no-go. I mean, even Michelle still, am I allowed to say the word, poops herself when she goes near the ocean.
Yeah.
So it's a huge challenge. Tell us about, and how can you encourage those in the townships, those who've not learned how to swim, those who have to persevere and overcome these obstacles? Yeah. Share that message with us.
Well, thanks for asking, Alex. Great question. Yes, it took me many years of perseverance, and I think for anyone who knows me, as I grew up into Ironman became my life. Every little decision that I make, whether it's work, whether it's social, it is always influenced by Ironman. And it's always been my passion. Ironman has always been my passion. And for me, as you say, it's never easy because I didn't know how to swim. I had to learn how to swim. So I think one of the most important things is you have to surround yourself with people who can challenge you, who can teach you, you can learn from. Even though you have the passion, you want to do it, but it's very important to surround yourself with people who can take you to the next level. So for me, coming to PE and having the community of people in PE who been into Ironman, like the likes of Paul Wolf, when I started showing me, taking me to the ocean, Paddy taking me to the ocean, and teaching me. So it's important to surround yourself with people who can teach you and you can learn from. So it took me many years, but yeah.
So Jabu, you've been walking with giants. And guess what? You are now a giant. So you have the responsibility of taking the next generation forward. How exciting is that? How excited are you, makes me emotional yet again, that you are going to change, shoot out the lights, remove barriers, and make people believe in the impossible. I'm so freaking excited. So you are now the giant. We will follow by example. We salute you. You run like a freaking machine. I love watching you on that run course. I'm hoping one day I can do another Ironman and be on the same course with you. I just get so excited about that. But I just want to thank you for what you've done. I want to thank you for your perseverance. I want to thank you for making me excited again. And would you like to give us a quick little insight into your race once you get out the water? I'm not interested in the swim. I want to know about the bike and the run. Give us a quick little lowdown, and then we can chat to some more people.
I think the most interesting part is actually on the swim, because because as you know, as soon as I knew that I qualified for KONA, and then I went into training. I trained hard, thinking to myself, I'm going to KONA. I'm not just going there to take part, I'm going there to race. And so I swam almost immediately from Ironman PE in April, so I continued swimming. So when I got to KONA, I told myself, I can swim, I know how to swim, I'm fit, I've done the training. So I went and I stood right in front of my pack. It was the worst mistake that I've made, because I've never seen so many fast and fit people swimming in one place together. So 100 meters into the swim, everyone is swimming on top of me. And now I'm panicking now. I'm really panicking. I can't even put my head down to continue swimming. So 200 meters, now I'm fighting for my life. Now all that thought I had of coming here to race is out of my head. It's now survival now. And I'm thinking to myself, I cannot even count, how many African people that are here on this race. So for me not to finish this race, first of all, is like, I'm telling the world, hey, all the black people mustn't come here again because we cannot swim. So then, my thought just became about survival and keep my head above the water. At one stage I had to stop and look around, let the people pass and find a space. And once I found a space, and I could come down, and then lesson learned from there. So
and then you hit land, and you felt a bit better.
And then once I hit the land, then I knew then there's unless my bike breaks down, there's no way I'm not gonna finish this. It was just chasing, the bike in KONA. I like to say it's not the toughest bike course in the world. It's actually nice. It's very nice and fast and smooth. The road condition is smooth. It's just the challenge is the conditions, the heat and the wind. You experience that wind as soon as it's actually headwind. It's a headwind all the way to Harvey. And then when you get to Harvey, you think, I'm going to have a tailwind back. That wind is actually coming from another direction. It's hitting you from the side. It's hitting you from the front again. So it's just a challenge that you experience when you're there.
Jabba, can I just come in here a minute and explain to people who are here and people who are listening, because if they watch the pros on television, they will think, what is Jabba talking about? Those pros had a lovely tailwind coming back. But people need to understand the pros start very early in the morning. and they turn long before the trade winds come up. Trade winds generally come up just before noon. And that's when the age groupers are hitting Harvey and the turnaround. So the conditions in KONA are very different for the age groupers to the professionals. And I think it's important we just explain that. So carry on, thanks.
Yes, yes. So, for the pros, it's nice because they're in front and there's not so many of them on the road. But when it comes to us as age groupers, there's so many people at one space. So we're actually fighting for the road. And there's so many of us, we are fighting for the road to keep the distance, to make sure that you don't get penalized, because you have to keep 12 meters from the cyclist in front of you, and if you don't do that, you get a penalty. So that's one of the things that makes you stress about such a race like KONA. And I had my best ride there. I had my best time. Of all my Ironman races, I had my best time. I pushed the bike. I pushed the bike, and then came to the run. The run, I had a plan. I actually had a goal of wanted to run sub 3:30. I think the first 12 kilometers, I ran according to the plan. But the moment I hit the Queen K and I felt that heat, it's like it's pressing you down. And from that heat, you think to yourself, now it becomes about survival again. I need to survive. I need to get to the finish. Where's the aid station? Where is the ice? Where is the water? And it was great. The community, I mean, the people that you run with as well, you just become friends with people on the road. You know, you suffer together, you fight together, and that's my experience.
That's absolutely fantastic. Let's give Java a round of applause. He'll be coming back a little bit later. Now we want to go and do a big test. We want to go and see if we can get somebody on Teams. So I don't know if you can call up Yulali Gous. I think she's online. Right, there's Yulali. Welcome. Can you hear us clearly enough? Okay, we just need a bit more volume from Yulali's side. Test again, Yulali. Still a bit soft. Okay, you are. Let's just see if we can get a bit more sound there. But while we're waiting, let's first of all put our hands together for Yulali, because she had a phenomenal race in KONA, finishing in the top 5, getting onto the podium. We'll hear more about how, in fact, much better it could have been if that last kilometer had gone a little bit better. We'll talk about that in a moment. Are we... Sorry, Yulali, you're just going to have to be a little bit patient. That sounds better. You want to test now?
Yes. Can you? Is it louder now?
Right. Just remember, we've got a little bit of a lag, a little bit of delay. So I'm going to hand over to Michelle, because I think she knows you quite well.
Hey, Lali.
Hey,
Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight. Firstly, congratulations. South Africa is very proud of you.
Thank you so much, Mish. I'm still, when I think about it, a bit speechless. I don't always know what to say.
Can you hear me, Lali? Hello, Yulali.
Yes.
Okay, if you can just take us through your quick swim. You felt, and the conditions, and what your mindset was going into this race.
So, I mean, when I qualified for KONA, this was my second time going there. I decided that this time we're going to go and get onto the podium. So Mish became my coach only in July, and she was with me every step of the way for the last 3 months. I couldn't have done this without her. Leading up to the race, she prepared me for every single thing that could happen in the race, organized for me to meet locals to take me on the swim course. I mean, we spoke through every single portion of the bike course, and then the run course I knew very well that was going to be the difficult part. But luckily for us, the women definitely got a much harder day this year. I think everybody can vouch for that. The men had the easy day, the women had the terrible weather. So the swim went well. I tried to find some good feet, stayed in the pack, came out about halfway through my field. I think I was 67th or 69th. Thereabout when I came out of the water, and apparently Michelle had a panic attack. But I kept my head down, I knew my numbers, and I started biking. And the problem was I started in the second age group, so the girls I overtook, I didn't know were they in my age group, were they in the other age group, but I just decided I'm going to catch everyone. Michelle also told me when she raced, she said nobody will pass her. So I was like, okay, I can do that. Nobody will pass me on the bike. So I started biking, and like Jabu said, it was headwind out, headwind back, headwind. And I also thought, no, this time we're going to fly backwards. It felt good all the way to Harvey. But on the way back, it was a terrible headwind, and the Queen K just felt like it was not going to stop ever. But the bike went well, and I got onto the run course, and then I've tried to describe the run course to people, but you can't. It looks easy on paper. It's not. It's like you're having an out of body experience while running in KONA. So yes, Mishi.
You were absolutely we were all watching. I call it dot watching.
Just want to check. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yolandi, I think Michelle, I need to come in here. We need to get down to those last 5 kilometers where you run up and then come down Polani, and there was all sorts of position changes. I'm sure everybody would like to know what happened there.
Alec, at that time, my quads were so sore. I was just fighting to keep on running. I went up Polani and I was in complete pain. And then I went up the last Queen K and then came back down Polani, and this one girl just came flying past me, and I was hoping she's not in my age group and maybe a winner from the age group behind me. And I just couldn't go. I was giving it everything. I can be honest. I got over that finish line and I was straight into the medical tent. I gave it 100%. They weighed me. I lost 4 kilograms on the day. There was nothing left. I gave it absolutely everything. So just being on the podium, I knew that was the best I had for the day.
Absolutely fantastic. You know, I always say if anybody runs himself into an ambulance or to the medic tent, you know that they've had nothing else to give. It was absolutely fantastic. We were just heartbroken for you losing those last 2 positions in the final mile. But yeah, absolutely fantastic.
She's going back.
Right, seems I might have been muted there. So Yolali, let me just repeat. Okay, they were saying no sound from me. Just to say, absolutely fantastic. You know, if you run yourself into the medic tent, we know you've given everything. You know you gave everything for yourself, your family, your team, South Africa. Right, seems we were just heartbroken for you losing those last 2 positions in the final mile. Could have been top 3, ever so close, but I think you've got another goal next year.
It just meant I got a smaller bowl, but I still got the bowl.
It's all about the bowl, baby. It's all about the bowl. We're very proud of you. Well done.
Absolutely. Yeah, just to show I still keep it with me all the time.
I always aimed for one of those. I never got one.
Thanks, Yulani. We're very proud of you. Thank you for making our lives so exciting, and I'm living vicariously through you. Thank you. It's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Michi.
So what if we can beam Natia into the conversation? Because Natia's late dad, Andre van Heerden, also got one of those bowls. Yeah, the year I went to KONA, he was on the podium. Natia wasn't in KONA this year, but she was in St. George. We'd love to hear from her. There we are. Where in the world are you today?
Hey, Nats.
I've been awake for about 30 hours. I've just come back from St. George this afternoon.
Well, welcome back. And tell us about this race, because St. George, the 70.3 world champs, were something else. I mean, there was a lady out front, Taylor NMB, who was just in a class of her own, and then a phenomenal race going on behind her. And then you were having one of the races of your life. So tell us a little bit about that.
I think St. George this year threw all the spanners. It was 28 degrees the one day and 2 degrees the next. So we had to think on our feet, how are we going to keep warm? We had space blankets, gloves. I went and bought gardening gloves just to be able to chuck it at any point on the bike. So we really had to think on our feet to make sure that we were prepared for the cold degrees. It was 2 degrees start temperature, and it was still pretty dark. But it was a phenomenal day for the women and for the men. Taylor NMB was incredible. I've spent the last month in Boulder with her, training with her, mostly swimming, and she just showed that she is a world-class, phenomenal athlete, and it was such an honor. So I'm very proud of her. It was really inspiring to see from a new pro how they do it, and also just the experience, I think, for the age groupers were incredible as well. They could experience the same course as us, and also just experience St. George. I haven't been there. It was my first time, and it was tough. The conditions were tough, but it was absolutely breathtaking. The Red Rock, I mean, I would go back next year. It's like East London, but just so beautiful. The course is challenging. The water was warm. It was 18 degrees. So for us in PE in Cape Town, it was really nice. The bike was rolling with the last climb through Snow Canyon, which everyone has heard of, and it is really spectacular. And being able to be on a start line, this is my first 70.3 world champs with the likes of Taylor, Emma, who had an amazing race, Paula Finley, who's one of my idols, Flora, who's one of my idols. It was just an incredible day. So yeah, it was a good day for me. I think I kind of redeemed myself, but really enjoyed it. Really such an honor to be there, and I can't wait to be back.
Natia, can you hear me?
Oh dear, did you not hear anything?
No, I heard you. It was wonderful. I'm just super excited for you to build from here, and screamed and shouted at my phone all of the day when you were racing. So I'm incredibly proud of you, and I'm looking forward to what we know you can still deliver. And let's just remind everyone that you are also an age group world champion from KONA, Hawaii, and you will be going back. You have got debts to settle, and we wish you all the best on this incredible journey, and we all support you 110%. And keep on doing what you're doing. We believe in you.
Thank you, Michelle. I must say I have the most incredible support system at home in PE, my family. So I have incredible friends, and I mean, just you as well. I mean, you've been checking in almost daily, and being away from home for 7 weeks in the States has been very challenging. But I really owe it to my support system, and you are one of them, and thank you very much for that.
Nate, if I could just ask one last question before you go, because something special happened in the world of Ironman in 70.3 this year, in that they gave the women their own day. How special was that for you people?
I think it was really important. It was due, and it was incredible to showcase the women in our sport and how incredibly talented women are, and strong and powerful, and it's important that we are seen and celebrated. So I think it is a step in the right direction to celebrate women in sport and to honor the hard work that we put in. And yeah, thank you to Ironman for that, for starting that, because it is really important to celebrate women and what we achieve as well.
Very well said, and I couldn't echo that more. And I think we're very grateful to all the women out there for returning the favor and giving us 2 exceptional races that Ironman can now not turn around and say, let's join the races back together. You deserve this, and we appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Right, Michelle, let's get Christine up here. Do you want to come and join us? You can grab a seat over here.
So, a few years ago, I see this like avatar. I love avatars. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie, but whenever I see a tall, beautiful person, I say to my husband or my daughter, there's an avatar. And I'm hoping they acknowledge and recognize me, but they just stare at me like I'm weird. So, Christine, it's been incredible watching your journey. We don't get to chat much. We're like on different sides of the world when it comes to training for some obscure reason, except on the race course, yes. So congratulations on this epic journey of yours. We know you also have a story to tell, but if you could just give us some insight into basically your KONA, what it felt like. You have documented it beautifully on Instagram. I've loved following it. It's been like a story, a fairy tale for me. But just let us know how you got there, the challenges, and make people excited. Make people want to go there. Okay, so make us excited.
Okay, thank you so much. And yeah, Michelle, when you mentioned that now, I was just thinking, since I started triathlon, and I feel like every single race I've ever done, I've always seen you, and you've always like said, like, and just encouraged me, like, you know, like, to me, I was always like fangirling, like, oh my gosh, it's Michelle Ensign, she said my name, and it's always, yeah, it's just always been a massive encouragement, being like, oh my goodness, it's like a world champion, and you've always, and if I've seen you at the pool or wherever, you've always been like, you know, just helping me out and that, so thank you so much for that. KONA, so along the way, I realized everyone talks about the road to KONA, and I feel like at the end of the day, I felt like for me it was more about the road than the actual KONA. Like, it's been such a massive thing getting there, and like, oh my goodness, the people have been such a blessing. Like, every single person you meet along the way, it's just incredible how everyone is just so for you and they back you all the way. Yeah, and so Ironman's slogan is anything is possible. And I think the fact that I made it to KONA and back really is just proof that anything is possible. So last year, November, I did my first ever full distance Ironman. And yeah, just the journey in Ironman alone, I think as with most people, it starts off as like a quarter life crisis where you just need to prove something to yourself. And then, yeah, I just became hooked on triathlon and then decided, no, I need to try to do a full. So I did that last year, November, and ended up winning my age group. So that in itself was a shock. And then everyone was like, oh, you're going to take the KONA slot. And I was like, oh my goodness, I hadn't thought that far because I wasn't expecting this. So that race was the last year that I was in the 25 to 29 age cat. So like initially I was like, no, I can't, how am I going to get to KONA? And then as the reality starts sinking in and I realize, okay, from this year, I'm now 30 to 35, now I'm playing with the big girls. So my chances of qualifying are diminishing. And yeah, I realized, okay, this is probably one of those YOLO things, like just say yes and then make it work. So I did that, I accepted the slot, and then just, yeah, the support from people and friends and family was just incredible. How everyone just like clubs in to help me actually get me across the world, preparation for the race, all of that. I did a lot of watching YouTube videos and just like gleaning whatever I could about the actual race. And yeah, KONA itself, like you say, from the moment you arrive at this little tiki hut in the middle of the wilderness, it was sensory overload for the whole time we were there. And the race, there were so many moments where I just had to think to myself, like, just concentrate, you're in a race, because it's so beautiful. I mean, you're swimming in the ocean and you can see manta rays swimming under you, and it's like swimming in an aquarium. The water's warm. It's so amazing. The bike course, yeah, agree with everyone, just wind from all directions all the time. It like never lets up. And yeah, the run, like Yolali said, it's an out-of-body experience. And I passed her because I'd been chatting to Xylon before, and he said to me, the advice is on the run, when you get to the 30K mark, as you're leaving the energy lab, then you know you're good, you just have to make it home. And I was just going into the energy lab, and Yolali was already on her way out. So I thought, okay, that's good. Like, it's not. And there was another 8Ks in the energy lab before we exited. So, yeah, it was a very humbling experience, because when you race a lot locally and you feel like, okay, I'm doing well or whatever, and then you get there and you're up against the best in the world, and you realize, okay, you are now a very small fish in a very big sea. And it just ignites like a fire and a passion like never before about, there's just so much more I can achieve, and why can't I? So my goal for this race was 11 hours, because I figured out, okay, what I could swim, bike, run, and I got 11 hours and 58 seconds. And then you go and like, even just seeing Yolali, I mean, she did just over 10 hours. And I was like, okay, well, why can't I get that next time? And so it's very inspiring just to see what everyone else is doing, to see what the pros are doing, like just to like, and you bump into pros there. So I was like very starstruck. But yeah, it's very inspiring as an athlete to see what can be done, and to think to yourself, well, why can't that be me?
So, yeah, it was a phenomenal performance. Now, you're a rookie in triathlon, and you're a rookie in KONA, and you arrive there, and you see all of these people showing off up and down the beachfront, doing their sprints and strides and their fancy bicycles. How intimidated were you by all of this?
It's extremely intimidating. I must say, that's the first thing you notice. And I mean, everyone's training shirtless. So it's like everyone is tanned and they have 12 packs and they're lean, and everyone just looks like pros. And you just see the most amazing gear and bikes and everything. And so my coach, Bruce, he just kept saying to me before we left, like, you run your own race. Like, don't get distracted by anyone else. If you're doing a training run or a ride, like, don't try and keep up with anyone else. Like, you know what you're there to do. You stick to yourself. This is your race. So yeah, it was always like, you can see everyone looking amazing, doing their thing, but just reminding, okay, this is who I am, this is who I race. There is a reason why I got here, so just to stay true to who you are, know what you're there for.
No, excellent. And can I ask you one last thing? We got Mossel Bay 70.3 on Sunday. There's going to be a lot of novices heading down there. What would your message be, thinking back to when you did your first one?
My biggest rule is always, if you're not having fun, it's not worth doing. So, yeah, at the end of the day, like, the thing I love about triathlon is I literally every single race have this moment of heaven touching earth. I don't know if it's just when you get delirious or whatever, but just to, like, if it didn't make you feel amazing and alive, then, that's why we do it. So whether you're going for your PB or you're doing it just to finish, like, remember why you're doing it. And just, I think the gratitude that it unleashes inside of you, like just the fact when you look back and you think, oh my gosh, I can actually do this. My body is amazing. And so, yeah, I think rule number one is enjoy every moment, look after yourself, don't do anything crazy by underhydrating or undereating. Just go out there, have fun, and make sure you finish well.
Thanks very much. Let's give Christina a warm round of applause.
And just to point out that I think Christina had one of the fastest swims by the South African ladies with a 104. Congratulations.
Wow, that is super fast. Well done.
If I can just also quickly at this point give a shout out to my man Hansen. We were at KONA together, the first black South African in Hawaii KONA. We acknowledge you, we appreciate you. And I remember you didn't have a bike for about 10 days. They lost it on the airline.
We'll chat to Hanson in a moment. What we would like to do is, Brad Weiss was going to come on, but unfortunately he's just arrived in Mossel Bay. He says, I'm looking at a hut that's got no Wi-Fi, so he's not going to be able to communicate with us. Carl Buckingham sitting in America, and he sent a video. Is it ready? So we're just going to have a video from Carl Buckingham, and then we've got one or two more people to chat to.
Hey guys. I'm here all the way in Tucson, Arizona. On your home. I just wanted to talk to you through my day at the Ironman World Champs in KONA this year. I didn't have the day that I wanted to have, but you know, I got to the finish line, and that's all that counts. Just because my day wasn't going well, I didn't want to throw in the towel. It was my ninth time going to KONA, so yeah, it's a little disappointing because I had an incredible build up to the race. My training went amazingly well. Swimming really good, riding and running my best I ever have been. So it was very disappointing. But you know, I just carry on. Focus for the next race. But yeah, I had a really bad swim, which was surprisingly. I've been swimming super well. To Nelson Mandela Bay for me.
Testing. Right, so let me just touch a little bit on Carl. So Carl and I were in Las Vegas together 2011, and then, sorry, 2012 and 11. And then we went across to KONA, spent about 4 weeks there. And an absolute professional, this guy. I mean, back in those days, he was just tearing up age groups. And it just shows that, like Natia, you can become an age group world champion and go on to become a pro. And Carl's become a very successful pro. My own son, Jamie, has probably learned the most from Carl Buckingham than anybody, just by being able to spend so much time with Carl and see how professional Carl was. In fact, on our final night in KONA, Jamie snuck out of the hotel, and he later on confessed to me, "Dad, I hope you don't mind, but I stole a knife." He was 12 years old from the hotel. I said, "What do you mean you stole it?" "No, well, I put it back." I said, "Okay, so you borrowed the knife." And he went down to, you know, the big fig tree at the start? And he engraved on that big fig tree at the age of 12 in 2012, "In 2027, I will be racing this race." Amazing. 15 years later, he had that vision. The other day, he told me I might have to go sooner because Blumenfeld and Gustav have gone sooner than age 27. So, yeah, very interesting.
I remember that story. I remember you told me when you got back. So I think we're going to bring Hansen up and have a little chat with him, our legend. Hansen, come take a seat with us, please. We'd love to chat with you quickly. So this smiling face of a man, sure, he makes me believe in all kinds of things that are good and possible.
Yeah, Hansen, I mean, geez, what an achievement to be the first, I think first African, not just South African, to finish KONA, if I'm not mistaken. But what an incredible opportunity for you. And I think when we look at Jabu today, we've got to realize that people like Hansen has paved the way, because by you going there, Jabu believed it was possible. So tell us about your journey or your racing KONA back then.
My name is Hansen, and I'm from Woma location. And I grew up in Woma, here in PE. And Ironman has changed my life a lot. And it's been an incredible journey. And to learn how to swim. It took me 3 months to do my first Ironman. I only trained for 3 months. And during that period, my mother passed away 2 weeks before the race. And then I buried my mother on Saturday, and I have to do my first Ironman on Sunday. And then everyone was saying, "No, Hansen, don't do this. And you're so exhausted, you are tired from the funeral and the preparations." I said, "Guys, I'm going to do this for my mother." And the race, my first race, 200 meters, I lost my goggles. Then just from the pier. And then said, "Now what I want to do now?" And just closed my eyes. As I swam, I felt my goggles. And I said, "Thank you, God. Now I'm going to finish the race." It was incredible. And I did my first Ironman. Everything went well. It was more of a hard work, and the pain, you went through the pain. And only the day that I buried my mother for first Ironman, I ran 3:34 marathon. And then I've been trying and trying and trying. I never ran those time again. I was running like 3:55, 3:45, 3:50s, not 3:34s. So it was an incredible journey. And then 2017, I was doing my Ironman here in PE. And as I crossed the finish line, no one told me I'm going to KONA. And I crossed the line, and then Paul Wolf came to me, and he told me, "But you are going to KONA." I said, "Bro, I'm too tired to have all these pranks. I just want to go and sleep." And since then, and the next day, Standard Bank called me. He said, "But you must come to Rosebank, and then you need to go to a lounge and stuff, and then you're going to KONA. I'm going to pay all your fees." And also, Nelson Mandela Bay as well was behind us from the start, from 2004 with Jabu, likes of Jabu, Siam Pratika, and other guys. And it was a journey. And we went to KONA, and we took connecting flights. It was my first time to travel to like long hours. And then it was a connecting flight to KONA. We never slept. It took us 39 hours to travel to KONA. And we arrived to KONA. Here's this place. Doesn't have an airport. Airport is outside. It's more like a hut and stuff. And then they said, yeah, this is KONA. Welcome to KONA. And the most incredible thing that happened to me is when we get there, they couldn't find my bag at the airport. And then I was there for a week, and then I couldn't ride. I was running during the week. And then only on Friday, when I was going to bike shop to borrow, to rent a bike, and then the airport phone, they said, we've got your bike. It's only when I rode my bike on the next day. So I couldn't ride at KONA. I was only running and swimming. But it was a wonderful experience. As we're going straight to the race, and only thing what was happening for me, everyone was stopping me on the course. My goal was 12 hours, to finish in 12 hours. And it didn't happen. I ended up doing 15 hours because I was spending time with volunteers on the side. Everyone was asking me, how did you make it? Are you sure you're from Africa? How did you learn how to swim? So all my journey, on my bike, on my run was a waste one. Every air station I have to stop and explain myself where I'm coming from. How did I start it? And then I said, you know what, this is it. This is it. I'm not competing anymore. I'm just here to finish the race. That was my journey. It's an unexplainable journey. Also, it's an overwhelming feeling just to be there. Everyone is saying the heat, the condition, and stuff there in KONA, but I was really excited at the end. Thank you very much, Alec and Michelle. Michelle, you were there. Thank you very much for your encouragement. You was always telling me, hey, but you have to finish this. You know, forget about anything. You didn't have a bike. It's not your story now. The story is to finish the race. Thank you.
Now, the wonderful thing is by you stopping and explaining to everybody about this African from Walmer Township, when Java got there, he didn't have to explain. He could race. But Hanson, well done. We've always admired your great achievements. I remember once Stuart Conacher and Paul Wolf telling me, Hanson, have you checked his VO2 max? I think it was 80-something. 82.5. You see, memory's still there. I heard that in 2005. And then I brought Norman Glomore to run against you, remember? Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
I'd also like to welcome Nolu in the house. Thank you for being here. One of our new aspiring athletes are also breaking barriers and making girls believe that it's possible. Thank you for being here. We respect and honor you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, we got some amazing female athletes in this town, and wonderful to see them all achieving. Lavuyo, are we going to go to Xylon's video? We got a video here coming up from Xylon.
For me, being here was really when I wanted to give up.
What an achievement. And I see he's got the Super Sapiens cap on. I wonder if he's part of the Norwegian Express now, because they're all into the big science of Super Sapiens and things like that. Yeah, just thanks to everybody who's joined us. Michelle, has been wonderful co-hosting this with you. Thanks to Levuyu for the opportunity. Some wonderful stories here this evening. Congratulations to all of you. Everyone's a champion. Just for getting there, and then you go and finish the race, and some people choose to win it. Michelle, last thoughts from you?
It's been an incredible experience being here. I think the important thing for us to remember, and a few of you have mentioned it tonight, the destination is almost a bit of a letdown. It's a freaking journey. Let's always keep the journey alive. Let's keep the dream alive. Let's be kind. Let's encourage one another, and let's aim to be world champions. There's nothing wrong with proclaiming I want to be a world champion. Nothing wrong. Make the dream real. Walk the talk. Alec, as always, you're amazing. You've inspired me when I was a little rookie. Phone you from our hotel room. Well, Chris phones him first. Michelle needs to speak to you. Michelle needs to speak to you. An hour and 20 minutes later, Michelle says, I can't breathe. It's so hot. I can't run. My heart rate's high. I don't think I should be here. Everyone's so thin. Everyone's so brown. They've got such expensive bikes. Everyone's so fast. Calm down. So Alec, I think without you being in my life and making me believe always that I can do it, I want to publicly thank you for that. And I'm glad you're back racing next weekend or participating.
Yeah, let's just change that words. So it's not a race for me, it's a survival. So for those of you who don't know, for some reason, Garth Wright entered me into the 70.3 Mossel Bay. There were 3 of us training together through winter. Andre Fenter, Garth, myself. We agreed to do it. I'm the last man standing. I believe I've got 8 hours. I'm going to use every single minute. Like Hansen used all those hours in KONA. There's no need to rush. And I'll be looking for Chris on the road. Tell him I need a walking companion, because I don't want to die out there. I just want to take it slowly. Anyway, we'll see you on the road at Mossel Bay, some of you. And thanks, everybody. Levuyu, closing words from you.
Thank you to you guys. Thanks to everyone who is here, and thanks for the amazing stories. And I think I've just gone back to triathlon from boxing. From all the motivation, I'm back. Heavyweight boxing can wait. I'll be back later. Thank you so much, Alec. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you so much, Christine, Jabu, Hansen, and everyone who is here. The people online, Nasha, Yulali, all the guys that were joining us on Teams. Really appreciate it. And as a token of our appreciation, I'm going to call up Zikona, who is the lady boss at the stadium. She's the stadium manager. Don't mess with her. It's 3 billion thing, this thing. And 3 billion entrusted to this lady. Zikona, thank you so much. Zikona's got some gifts for our guests. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Let's give them a round of applause. There you go. Thank you, Z. Yeah, lovely. And Michelle, thank you so much. Z Corner. Thank you so much. And then Z, don't go away. Don't go away. So the whole point of this event, and many more to come, is that we want to use this place as the home of legends of the city. There's one in front of me. I can see him on my left corner there. We're going to be doing this on a regular basis to honor local legends. And Jabu proudly said to us, guys, I'm happy to spread the word for the Stadium Sports Museum. We said, thank you, Jabu, for offering yourself. So Jabu is really our first friend of the Sports Museum, and we'd like to call him up to receive his pack as our ambassador for the museum. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you race with the logo. Thank you. And if you want to catch, thank you so much. Oh, let me get out of there. Thank you. If you want to catch Jabu's, look at his equipment that he used in KONA. It's going to be here for the week. I might ride it. That sits too high. His bike is here. His running shoes are here. His helmet, his medal. It's locked in a box. You can't get in. Please feel free to pop by. If you're coming to the stadium, come pop in. And those who are heading to Mossel Bay, if those who are listening to us online, good luck this coming weekend. Those who are going to Neisner on the 19th of November for the Ultra, good luck to you. And all of us will be watching on screen. Thank you very much. We do have some eats through the corner here, so we're going to open up the door. Please stay with us, grab some chow. Let's mingle, let's have a chat.
Just before Luvuyo signs off, I just want to also make mention of the fact is one of the special things about Port Elizabeth, Gqeberha, Eastern Cape is the cross-pollination from sport to sport. And we see one of our biggest stars of South African road running here tonight, Malachi Frans. I'm convinced he will be at the 2024 Olympics. He's the SA Half Marathon champion, phenomenal athlete with his coach, Michael Mbabani. You know, the fact that you guys have come out here for a triathlon event shows how committed you are to the city, how committed you are to sport, and you guys just inspire. So thanks very much for being here. And then, yeah, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. And then I would just like, in closing, on behalf of both Michelle and myself, to say to Luvuyo, thanks very much for organizing this. When you phoned me a week ago and you said, is it possible? I said, 7 days. But Luvuyo, well done. It's fantastic that you're thinking of initiatives like this. And Michelle and I, I'm sure I'm speaking on her behalf too, are very grateful to be involved and happy to support you in these type of events. Thank you.